One! Jane, I don't know why I do that every week. Oh, welcome to the Sisterhood episode pilot 8.0. How was your week, Jane?
It was good. It was busy. I had the flood the week before Thanksgiving, and so I spent a lot of time this week with insurance adjusters and companies and, coming in to do quotes and all that kind of stuff. So it was not like a fun week, and I didn't actually get as much accomplished as I would had hoped. It takes a while. You have to do like all the steps. You have to wait for the next step and then wait for the next step. And then, so it's just a lot of hurry up and wait.
Yeah,
So I kind of thought it would move a little quicker than it is moving.
yeah,
Um, but overall, I can't complain. I really came out lucky. It could have been a lot worse, and it could have been taken even longer. So I'm just
yeah,
hopeful that we get through it and get moved. I also had to travel this week for work, so it's just been a busy week, and you know,
yeah,
movie kids while you're gone and do some shit, and you're like, okay,
yep.
and deal with that. Maybe when the airplane lands and you check a location and you do a quick like, what are you doing there when you're supposed to be here? And it's like, oh, I was going over to their study, and it's like, get your fucking ass where you're supposed to be right
Ass
now,
fucking home now.
right now.
Hmm.
And maybe the whole plane was silent because everybody was getting their bags and they all got to hear that. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, you'd have to ask the other fucking 60 passengers, but
yeah,
it was just, you know, just everyday life stuff. Just, living the dream.
good times. My week, oh, we're hella busy at work. That grind. Got my workouts in, got my yoga in. Um, Jeff and I did our annual December staycation. So Friday after work, we drove downtown, hit up the hotel. This year we did things differently. Usually we spend money and go out to dinner and then hit up a show. This year, Jeff packed a charcuterie. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
He packed a board and actually Tupperware because we're the Boulanges and we don't give a shit about how it's displayed. We just care about how good it tastes. And he had 20-year-old aged Canadian cheddar. It was fucking
Nice.
delicious. And so we just had beers in the hotel and listened to Fleetwood Mac. The tribute band was Rumors Atlanta. They're based out of Atlanta, and they're fantastic. We've seen them a million times, and we'll
Yeah.
continue to see them every time they come to Charleston. But yeah, we get in there. So we have a couple beers in the hotel, get our Fleetwood Mac on, get ready to go. I'm not gonna lie, I took a 5 hour energy. I was yawning the entire ride from downtown or from Goose Creek to downtown, which is all of 30 minutes.
Hmm.
And I'm like, Jeff, I might need a nap. And he's like, you're gonna feel hungover because you know how like naps, not
Yeah.
even drinking, but just like I can't take a quick cat nap. I need like at least 2.5 hours or it's not worth it.
Right.
But so between the 5 hour and the snacking, the good company, I found my mojo. We had great seats. Jeff strategically placed us in aisles 2 and 3, seats 1 along the right so that we could dance like he would be right behind me. But the seats come in like this as they come up a row. So
Yeah.
like he was in nobody's way and I was in front of him and I'm short so he could see.
Yeah.
So we danced. I mean, I was soaked by the time we left there with sweat. That's how much we
Yeah.
danced. And then, 100%, the lead singer, Mackenzie, definitely her and I were connected during the show because I was the only one standing and dancing. And
Nice.
so she had to have been looking at me. There was no one else to look at.
Right. No
Um,
competition.
exactly. And I felt absolutely scrumptious in my outfit. I felt like a snow bunny. I wore all white and my big purple lavender haze jacket. And then Jeff wore his pimped out green velvet holiday jacket, like $30 off Amazon last year.
Yeah.
That motherfucker gets so many compliments. I'm telling you, like 10 compliments before we left the concert. And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm wearing this exact outfit next year. Um, then we got up early. We watched The Family Stone, which I'll talk about when we get to that section, and walked over to Miller's all day. Had a great brunch. I got the King Street Bowl, which was like grits and gravy and eggs and sausage and delicious, like fried, bigger than hash browns, like quarter sized potatoes. Oh my god, so good. And then we just walked the city and had drinks all day. I might have counted that I potentially had 5 espresso martinis, and we got back to the hotel. We were in bed, sleeping by 7:30. 11 o'clock, I woke up and I was wired. I've been wide awake since 11 o'clock last night. I've not gone back to bed.
Wow.
So, and I'm going to muscle through, not take a nap this afternoon so that I can go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Yeah. Which
But
for you is like what, say 5 p.m. ish?
yeah, exactly. You know, I like to go to bed early. Lately, it's been 7, which has been feeling late.
I
So,
mean, that is a late night for you guys. Wow.
yeah, it is. But Jeff's golfing right now. So, me and mom just did face masks, and I make these homemade face masks with this like Aztec mud and like vitamin E, frankincense oil, lavender oil, coconut oil, witch hazel, and I mix it up and just my skin is so soft right now. But she's been getting like little pinks in her cheeks, like maybe eczema or rosacea, but it should help. So
Yeah. Isn't it bentonite clay?
it is bentonite, but I think the brand I have is called
Brand is-
Aztec.
Yeah, I have the same one. It's from that redheaded lady on TikTok.
Yes, and it makes your face green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like kind of grays, right? When it
yeah,
hardens.
grays when it dries. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was my week. We had a fabulous time, and definitely going to keep that tradition up instead of doing Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, random question generator.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that you should start but you haven't?
I think I've been procrastinating on some things. Probably like reining in, every couple of years you have to do like a spending reset where you
Yeah.
just kind of rein in and like get real harsh with your budgeting. I feel like I've needed to do that for a minute, especially after the health stuff last year and all the deductibles and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something I've been procrastinating about, that I know I can do better at and I need
Yeah.
to do better at, and I just am much more comfortable when I do better at.
Yeah.
So that's something. Um, God, I think there's a lot of things that I should be doing that I'm not doing right now. That I'm trying, but I just.
But you're prioritizing, you would say that's number 1 on your list.
Yeah, it's probably in the top couple.
Yeah.
That's one of the
I
things I need to do.
definitely am with you on that one. That wasn't going to be the one I picked, but that should be the one I pick. However, Jeff and I have, and I really hope we do this. Like we do dry January, and we like rein everything in, spending all the shitty habits disappear, and it's hard, but it's good. So we get our finances back in order then. But like, I really think we need to have a year of 2025 of just locking that shit in. Maybe not attending every concert that we catch wind of, and always out and about, and instead doing more at home and just relaxing. And so, but the one thing I keep telling myself I want to do, and it's totally in my control, that I keep putting off, is cold plunging. I really, the benefits of cold plunging for inflammation, getting your blood flow moving.
Yeah.
For me also, because I just have I struggle with, like I was telling you last week about, like, I feel like I get afraid all the time. Like, I'm always scared of everything. And I feel like that's one thing. I'm terrified to get in ice cold fucking water.
Sure.
But I feel like I know I'm going to be fine. So that's something where I could be practicing facing fear, like on a routine basis, and get the benefits of it, but also toughen my mentalness, my mental toughness.
Yeah.
So cold plunging's on my list. I'm going to make that in the mornings, at least 4 days a week. Jeff and I, we take a big like salad bowl and we fill it with halfway with water. We freeze it in our freezer overnight, and then we pull it out when I get up earlier than him. So I fill it with water up to the brim. And then by the time we're done with our workouts, it's melted, but it's freezing. So we stick our faces in that.
Yeah.
About 4 to 5 times a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Not every day, but most days. And I'll tell you what, you get a buzz off that. I mean, literally instant alert.
Yeah.
So, but I want to do my whole body.
How are you going to do your whole body? Like,
I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, Jeff is so creative, and we have that freezer in the garage. And I think I'm just going to take our buckets that we get our chlorine in, because they're about this big, and I'm going to fill 2 up, put them in the freezer, fill a bath with just, it doesn't get that cold here, like our water out of the, but fill a bathtub up and then put 2 of those blocks in and let it sit for like maybe an hour. I'll just have to keep tweaking it till I get it the way I need it, but, and sit my ass in my bathtub.
Okay.
So, I mean, or I could even go get a couple bags of ice from, just once a week or so. I think that you can get the most benefit out of it if you can make yourself do it for 11 minutes a week, but it can be spread out or it can be all at once or
11 minutes. Yeah.
11 minutes.
I'd have to do it multiple times, like
We'll,
daily.
we'll see what I can get myself up to.
Get to 11.
Jeff doesn't know this, but he's got this goal with me.
Jeff knows all your goals are his goals or become his goals.
I know. Usually he's home. If he weren't golfing, he would have had a face mask on too with me and Mom, but he wasn't here. He did do it last weekend, and I accidentally got it in his eyes, and all his buddies were over.
Oh no! And it's clay, so it's like
it burns. Green. Yeah, exactly. Oops. All right, Jayne. Let's talk products. So something you noticed that you use and love and want to talk about.
Okay. I use this every year. You know, in the wintertime, how your hands get so just like, mine gets super dry. And I also am like constantly washing stuff and like putting my hands in water in the sink or cleaning stuff or washing my hands after I clean stuff. So I think mine get even worse, but I've been using this for a couple years.
Oh,
vitamin E skin cream, and I think I got it at Walmart. You can buy it in like a 2-pack or something. And it's just really just a cream. But for whatever reason, it's like got a good consistency and
nice.
And it helps my hands a lot in the wintertime. So I always pull it back out. I don't use it in the summer, but I always pull it back out when it starts to get real cold and dry out because then I feel horrible. Yeah. So,
awesome.
Yeah. And It's not expensive either. It's cheap.
Mine, this is 7 Minerals Pure Castor Oil. Yeah. I haven't opened this one yet because I get a 2-pack and I'm working on the other one, but we have these I like it better out of glass and I think it's better for the oil. So when I get it, I put it in these glass jars that are kind of long and skinny and they've got like a cork that goes in the top.
Yeah.
This is a miracle oil. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but literally, especially if I've been drinking, around my menstrual cycle for sure, because it totally helps eliminate cramps. But I have a routine and I do this at least 4 times a week, regardless of what I got going on that time of the month or anything, just because I feel like it's really good for me. But when Dad was having all those issues with his liver, I had done research. And actually, I was thinking about it. I had already been doing this, but I didn't realize it was good for the liver too. But this really is good for helping repair your liver. But so basically, I pour a handful in my hand. I use a Depends throwaway diaper just so that I don't get it on my sheets or my pants or whatever I'm wearing. Yeah. And honestly, Depends are kind of cute. They have the high cut and I love them. I'm not going to lie. But anyway,
seen you in your Depends.
Jeff loves them. And they got this cute little purple bow on the front, and that's how I know that the front and the back. But so anyway, I oil up my front of my stomach. I start in my belly button. I put a good amount in there and just rub it in, and then I massage my stomach on both sides, and I try to get that entire area, but cover all my organs, and then I go around my back and down like the middle of my back. Where the diaper will be, so it's protected, because if I get it anywhere else, then it's going to it's such a thick oil. It gets all over. But I'll tell you what I've noticed. It's totally minimized my stretch marks, which I don't want to completely go away because those are my war wounds from motherhood, and I love my stretch marks. But hey, if they can be a little lighter, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And then 100%, this I can tell for sure, when I'm really crampy, it helps. Big time, like almost instantly. And then what I find is, like, if I've had a couple drinks, which I don't drink that often, but let's say once every couple of times a week, but I'll have a few drinks and I never feel good after I drink. I feel like obviously it's poison, but it's one of those things, you're going to do it, but then you're going to pay for it. But I have noticed that I don't feel as bad the next day. And I feel like sometimes I wake up if I've had a couple drinks with anxiety in the middle of the night. But if I do this castor oil, I don't get that anxiety. And that's the only thing I'm doing. So yeah. So that's I think it's been almost a year now that I've been doing this, and I'm going to keep doing it because I love it. It's worth it. Yeah. All right, Jane. All right. So just for our Sisterhood podcast teammates here, we've been talking about just how to, like, where we can ensure we're gaining efficiency with the layout of our podcast. And so we had it up to like 8 sections, but we've combined conversations that have made you think with thought-provoking quotes and or information that have made you think. So we kind of pulled that all together. Jane, what are you laughing at?
The number of fucking times you said provoking when you were saying provoking.
It just sounds right to me, but
you said it twice earlier and I let it go. But
what is it?
Provoking.
Jesus. Provoking sounds provocative.
Well, that's a totally different thing. That's why.
Okay, but what's thought-provoking mean? Bring forth thoughts?
Yeah.
Or like have good thoughts?
Do you think provocative makes you think? Because
thought-provoking is that like
it's
more
not a
like
thing. So there's that.
Okay, fine. Thought-provoking. You win. All right. So we kind of condensed those because we're trying to target about 45 minutes, which we have to be completely honest with everyone. That is so hard for us because we like to tell stories and we get into the weeds and we are all over the place and we will bring it back to the beginning. So we're doing our best. But okay, so Jane, do you have any conversations and or thought provoking quotes or
I'm going to put on the record, I didn't win. The fucking dictionary did. Okay.
Oh, you're right.
Not really.
Or information that has made you think this week, or maybe question your opinion and or just got your wheels spinning.
So yeah, a couple things. One of which would be when I was traveling, I had to go do a breakfast with some contractors, independent contractors that I have at one of the bases. And during the breakfast, it was a bunch of males that I was chatting with, and we were talking about, we all have teenage kids. And so we were just kind of chatting about that a little bit. And, you always think this, equality versus equity, and roles and all that kind of stuff. And the experience these men have with their teenagers versus the experience I have with mine. And I say that because I'm not alone in this. Like, this isn't an Olivia thing. This is like a teenager thing. And so, it doesn't really have as much to do with her personally as it does with like the developmental stage and the maturity level and the hormones and all the stuff that we're dealing with, the growth, the development, the experience, the learning, the thinking they know everything. But just in chatting with these men about their experience, it's so funny because one of them said to me, and I literally died laughing. He was like, I'll be out with my son all day. And his son is actually younger than a teenager. I think his son's like maybe 3 or 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll be out all day. Okay. Half hour before we're home, he'll be like, Dad, I'm hungry. And I'll be like, okay, we're almost done. We're heading home. Can you make it? We'll get done. He's like, yeah. He goes, the minute I put the key in the door to get in the house where his mother's on the other side of this door, he collapses to the ground. He can't take another step. He's been walking through the desert for days. He's dying of thirst. He hasn't eaten in a lifetime. He's wasting away from the outside.
So mom gets a different experience.
He can't because mom's there. So now I get to be super like needy, vulnerable, hurt. I'm hurt. Not only am I physically dying inside, emotionally I'm broken because somebody tried to starve me to death.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's so funny because he's like, not a word, Jane, not a word the whole time we're out there. But the second I put the key in the door and he knows mom's on the other side, he's dying.
Does
like,
mom give dad hell or does mom know?
She's like, why don't you feed him?
I I do want to ask Dad why he's not just bringing some fucking snacks in the car.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But I think the point is, yes, that. And then another one of the doctors was saying to me that he has actually young kids, and he was talking about his one son. And he was saying how, like, in the middle of the night, his son's not a good sleeper. And in the middle of the night, he'll wake up. And, like, if mom goes in, I mean, obviously the world's coming to an end. She's got to
Yeah.
sleep with him. It's the whole
Yeah.
thing. He needs to cuddle. He's hurt. He's physically, something is wrong. You know, there's a
Yeah.
medical need, obviously. But on top of that, emotionally, he's hurt. Somebody has
Yeah.
hurt his feelings. And so he needs all the loving and affection and support. Dad comes in and is like, dude, what's the matter?
Yeah.
Just go to bed. And the kid's like, okay, and goes to bed. And I'm like, fuck you kindly.
Yeah.
Because that has
Yeah.
never been my experience.
Yeah.
I get I'm dying inside. Where are you? I mean, Olivia's 17, and still when she gets in trouble, she has some type of medical ailment. Always. Always.
I literally have a solve for that too. Let him fucking climb in bed with you.
Yeah.
It's painless and you both
Yeah.
sleep.
But the point is like,
it's different with the mom and the dad.
Different experience.
I will say in my household, I feel like it's the other way around.
Yeah.
With Jeff, I feel like even Blake, he came home from college last weekend or the weekend before, and it was me, Blake, Madison, and Jeff around the fire pit. And Blake, cousin Terry, had to have the talk with him about, like, making sure he's doing the things because he's a grown-ass man that's staying in her house, and there are just rules about, like, the way she wants her house kept. And
Sure.
he handled it beautifully. He took total accountability, and he is, even when he was here, I'm like, are you rinsing your dish and putting it in the dishwasher? He's like, Mom, I got to keep doing it to make it a habit. And I'm like,
Oh.
It took someone else besides us saying it to him. But anyway, he's like, Mom and Dad, when we were by the fire, he's like, I got to be honest. He's like, I think about just the couple of things cousins asked me to, like, make sure I'm doing. And he's like, between, like, making sure size of laundry loads are reasonable, not oversized. Like, don't wait all week. Do a couple loads, throughout the week, and make sure the loads are smaller.
Yes.
Just because of her washer, that's what she needs him to do. But I
just had this conversation with Olivia last night or 2 nights ago. Yes.
And just little things like that, rinsing your dish and putting it in the dishwasher, or God forbid, fucking wash it and put it in the cupboard. I mean, that would be. But so what Blake said was, he's like, Dad, I had to tell cousin Terry, you've spoiled the shit out of us, because honestly, if you're gonna do it, then I'm not gonna do it. He's like, but what I've realized is just how much you've been doing for all of us, because that's not just for me, between me, Mom, because Jeff does a shit ton for me. Like, I mean, does my laundry. As soon as he does my laundry, folds it and everything, I immediately, and I know this sounds wicked entitled, but I immediately put it away. Like, it almost bothers me to think it could be sitting somewhere that he's going to see it, because he's put effort into my life. And I just feel like I never want to take that for granted. But the kids are not realizing all that he's done for them. And just like so much. I don't know how he manages his day. But anyway, so long story short, Blake had to come to Jesus. He's 20 and a half. And it took that long before he was like, the sheer amount of duties Dad does every day. Like, I just am exhausted thinking about it. And he's like, Dad, thank you so much. And it was actually a beautiful moment. But I have noticed his habits have changed. He's keeping his car organized. I watched him do the dishwasher magic, and just that he's aware. And but it's
a huge step.
It is a huge step. And my parenting style, like, is different than Jeff's. I am not as much a caregiver. I'm like, you can fucking do your own laundry. You can wash your own dishes, and don't let me find dishes in the sink. And I'm going to lose my mind. And where Jeff's just going to come through and whip it up and keep things flowing, because ain't nobody got time to be calling people out. But like, they joke.
But Jenny, let me just say this, because I think you're exactly right. And I do think the majority of the time, I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
But you're right. There are absolutely occasions and situations and relationships where the rules are changed up in certain ways.
Yeah.
Not always, but in certain ways. And I think that you're absolutely right. Jeff is definitely a caregiver. There's no doubt about that. And I say that as a caregiver. Like,
I know. You two are both caregivers.
Yeah, I can see it in others. But I think if you think about how many times he just does it because
Yeah.
it's like one less argument, one less,
Yeah.
because all those little things add up on your psyche too,
Yeah.
so that you don't have to lose your mind as often to say
Yeah.
like do it yourself or else, because it just would never get done.
Yeah. Exactly.
Unless
Well,
you're like maybe one of those households that'll beat the shit out of your kids. I'm just not that household.
yeah, we're not that household either. And I wouldn't want to do it like that, but
Me neither.
I wish I want them to just be aware of how much he does for them. That's all. And as long as they're aware of that and they realize that this shit isn't just done. This isn't magic.
Yeah.
Someone's work and effort and time and you know
Yeah.
things they could be doing for themselves. They're now
Yep.
spending that time on you because they love you and
Yeah.
not to just take it for granted and just not even realize this shit has to get done. Like it's not something that's
Yeah.
happening on its
Right.
own.
The room fairy
Yeah,
doesn't just show up and do it. But
exactly.
sometimes, depending on age, you still think that. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Not
But the kids
not
always
really
joke
about it.
because Jeff's the one that cooks in our house too. And they always joke when he goes out of town, well, we're having scrambled eggs or sandwiches because that's all mom can cook. And you're goddamn right. You know what? Or you can make yourself something.
Right. Right.
So, all right. Well, so for me, well, Jane, anything else on that?
No, no.
So the conversations that had me thinking this week, and I'll keep it quick, but when Jeff and I were downtown, one of the things we do on our staycation every year is just talk about our like future dreams because it's just fun. Because
Yeah.
there's no stress when we're on this little 2-day adventure, and so it's funny how our dreams are starting to evolve into. And I don't want to put this out there too quick, but I also can't wait. And so, and it's truly what I'm thinking about in my somewhat near future. And by near, I say probably the next 5 years.
Yeah.
We're gonna be, I hope anyway, and no pressure to my kids, but Bebop and Birdie someday. And I like we were
Oh,
talking about just because of all the people we know that have grandkids now and like what they do that's special with theirs. And I totally want to have a summer camp where they come to Bebop and Birdies and we literally have
can I?
daily what?
As usual, Christmas came early. Um, how is Jeff with the grandparent names that you've chosen 20 years in advance, and he
Um
gets to be called Bebop? I'm
Listen, he has a total choice. He wants Bebop. He's
does
in
he
it to win
does
it.
he really want Bebop,
I
or does
the
he not say
next
anything so we
all
assume
right.
he wants it?
The next time we're together, or feel free to call him. I want you to ask him without me around so he gives you his honest opinion. But even yesterday when we were like thinking about how lovely this is gonna be, and we're also gonna be the Bebops and Birdies that at the end of the day, the kids that are kids and, are the parents. We're not overstepping boundaries. We're not going to be the grandparents that try to tell the parents what to do or step in and take charge.
Right.
We're going to be the grandparents we want to be totally supportive,
Yeah.
whatever they need. If they want, I think it's important in a relationship, and I feel Jeff and I have done this well, to take time for yourself. And I think it's hard when you have littles because you worry about being able to trust people with your kids.
Yeah,
And
for
the
sure.
thought of going somewhere overnight can be a little scary.
Yeah.
I can't wait for weekends with Bebop and Birdie or week long trips or whatever. And so I hope they'll trust us with their kids for, our grandkids for that time, but maybe they won't. And that's 100% up to them. We're not going to be the overstepping, boundary breaking grandparents, but we're going to be the grandparents that our grandkids cannot wait to see and cannot wait to hang out with and cannot wait to, make bracelets or go to the park or I have this fantasy about like taking a piece of tape and taking the little toddlers through the nature of my backyard and us making little bracelets with like the leaves and the flowers.
Oh,
They
that'd be
just stick it to
cute.
the isn't
Yeah,
that going to be so much fun?
it sure is.
So
It sure
that was a conversation that got me thinking and really
So
excited for the near
here's
future.
here's the thing. I'm not gonna ask Jeff if he wants to be called Bebop. I'm just gonna break it in for him. So from now
Okay.
on,
Oh,
it's only known as Bebop to me.
can I be Birdie?
Sure.
Oh, I can't wait. I have a whole logo picked out, and it's
I
like
know you do. I
two
imagine there will
birds.
be T-shirts, probably
There will
hats,
be. We're gonna have
like these
merch. House and
T-shirts,
Boo with
hoodies.
Bebop and Birdie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Especially when you guys do like, I imagine there'll be summer camp T-shirts for when they
Oh
come
my
see
God,
you for the.
James, you want to come to camp?
Sure.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get the cousins together too, because they'll be grand cousins.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not for a long time because
Like,
I think,
all right, I'm thinking 5 years. Do you feel that's reasonable? Blake's 20. 5 to 10?
yeah, 5 to 10, I think.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I
But a
feel
girl
like,
can dream.
yeah.
They're not ready for that right now.
I
And
just want, I want Liv to be stable and financially okay and into a career
yeah,
if possible. I
if
mean, if
possible,
not,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I want
Sometimes
her to be
I
able
feel
to,
like humans have made shit so complex. Like, we could have just all been like in a big happy community, like growing our own food and living off the land, and everyone takes part in what they're good at and their responsibilities, and it all comes together, and we don't have to do crazy fucking made up human work.
So I just got, so you just were daydreaming about your future. I'm over here daydreaming about mine, which is going to be keeping you out of a fucking cult.
Oh, you're so
Because I
right.
believe you just described like multiple cults and
I
communes.
know, but it doesn't have to be cult like if you're really just in touch with nature.
Right, right.
One with the earth, conscious, collective consciousness, everyone not just thinking about themselves, but thinking about,
Yeah,
and not
I
just thinking
agree.
about other humans, thinking
I
about the
think that
ground and the trees and the air and the freaking,
I think that's
like,
lovely, and
yeah,
I would 100% like to be a part of that. I just think the human experience is somebody's going to take advantage and somebody's going to lead people right over a cliff.
I know. If I'm in charge, I will not do that.
Okay, great.
It'll be Bebop and Birdie's House of Boo community. I
Commune.
got to come up with a name. But we're gonna figure something out there.
Yeah, and then you can
Uh,
trade.
call. I have call like tendencies. Jane, what do we got next? All right. What are you listening to or watching this week?
I started with Olivia, the one you told me based on a true story. I had to look in
Oh
my
yeah,
notes 'cause I couldn't remember the name of it. But we're
Daily
not
Taco.
we're still I don't know if there's more than one season, but we're definitely
Two
still in the first
seasons.
season. Okay, yeah, we're still in the first season. So it's been so far it's pretty funny. There's yeah, it's been interesting. We liked it, and I haven't watched any more because Olivia was watching it with me, and so I didn't want to
Yeah,
skip ahead. Yeah,
we're
but
gonna catch the
I really like it.
Jackal because another episode's out tonight, or
Yeah,
I think it was out today, but we haven't watched it yet. And I think,
yeah.
have you watched Brilliant Minds? It's a great show. It's like a doctor who he can't see people's faces. It's blurry.
Oh, yeah. It's the guy who played in the Star Trek movie.
Yes,
He played Spock.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That's
have
a really good.
I saw the previews and it looked really good, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's so cute. You might as well wait till the whole season's out so you can
Yeah.
binge. But
Yeah.
because we're like Brilliant Minds, I think it's what it's called. But anyways,
Yeah.
all right. Can we talk Kylie Kelsey's Not Gonna Lie?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great.
I am so pumped. I think we're right there with her.
Yeah.
I feel like, not to brag, but I feel like it didn't feel like any difference of a scale except for you can tell, and I appreciate this for her, and I'm fucking jealous. She's got experts in there with her. Like, she has a
Oh, for
producer,
sure.
and
Yeah.
someone's putting sound to this, and like, you
Yeah.
know, helping her, and she's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
Fucking field high school field hockey coach. She reminds me of one of my besties from high school. She actually coached, or not high school, college. She coaches UMass Lowell. Shannon
Yeah.
LeBlanc at the time, Libacek. Amazing, amazing, amazing leader, mentor.
Yeah.
She's been coach of the year multiple times at UMass Lowell for the field hockey team. Kylie Kelsey and Shannon are so similar in the way they talk, the way they think, the way they don't lie,
Yeah.
the realness that comes out of them. And I knew she played field hockey. I could feel that she was such a
Yeah.
field hockey player.
Yeah.
And I could tell she's from Pennsylvania because I could feel that too. But anyway,
No, I thought
it
it was
was
great.
really, yeah, I thought it was great too, and I can't wait to hear
I
more.
think it was just it's similar to what we're both drawn to, which is just good quality conversation, like just sort of
And
keeping it real, but also
real.
just talking about, just having good quality conversations.
And also, I feel like even like she was talking about swearing in front of her kids and shit like that, and I'm so guilty of that on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And they knew right from wrong too. And now that they're older, I feel like Blake does not swear. Brody, it depends on his mood. Blaine's got a freaking mouth like a sailor. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, son, know your audience. Make sure
Right.
you know your audience. I hear you out there on the field, like with your buddies at football and mixing it up. And I'm hearing the F bombs being dropped and just, you'll pay the consequences if you use those words in the wrong. But I liked being able, like, mom was never like, you guys can't swear. I know we disappointed Graham sometimes with our mouths, but
Yeah.
we weren't not allowed. We just
Yeah, it
were
wasn't
allowed
like
to be
something
ourselves.
it wasn't something we were getting belted for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like we learned quick. The audience, we could use our words in front of and listen to us now because I have to put explicit on every fucking single one of these because of the sheer number of. I tried moving to fork. I
Yeah.
just, in real conversation, it's hard to do that.
Well, let me just tell you, if my goddamn text message changed it one more time to ducking, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill someone. Because I'm like, it's never ducking, never.
Take that out of the algorithm.
Right.
Oh man, that's
Stop
fun.
with the autocorrect. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying, and I'm not ashamed of it.
no, I
I
know.
always use it in conversation. I think too, because down here in the South, it's not as, I don't feel like it's as up north. I feel like that's just people just talk and they just say
Yeah,
stuff. and
yeah. I
and
just
it's
feel
not
like when
offensive and
people
it's not.
are using curse words to describe situations, I feel like it's a passionate thing. And
Yeah,
I'm sorry
the
if it,
emphasis that comes
yeah,
from it.
it's an emphasis. It's a real thing because you're not filtering yourself. It is
No,
what
no,
you're
no.
truly thinking.
Yes,
So
it's
I'm not
also
ashamed of that. I own every fucking ounce of it.
that's right.
But I also love that about Kylie. And I
Yeah,
love the fact that she's not trying to hide how she parents.
right.
And she's not feeling ashamed about it, no matter how many people try to call her out for it.
No,
And I love that because every household's different.
yeah. I'm
Um,
like, if that's all you got to say, then she's doing pretty well.
she is, exactly.
Because there are plenty of people out there looking for pearls to clutch over every little stupid fucking thing.
I know, you're so right. Jane, one more thing I watched this week I wanted to talk about was The Family Stone.
Oh yeah,
So, Meredith, which is Sarah Jessica Parker, that movie, it's such a great movie, but I get so much anxiety with how the family treats her. I feel
yeah,
like it makes me so sad for her. If I were part of that family, none of them bitches would be able to talk to her like that. And I
no,
know that shit was coming out of her mouth, but it wasn't intended to be from a bad place. And so I have to remind myself watching movies like that, like you got to get through the whole thing because I think we mentioned this earlier when we were just connecting before the call and the growth that family had as a whole
yeah,
from the start of the movie with Meredith getting to the house versus where they all landed in the end and just how everyone grew and they grew in love
yeah,
and they fit the pieces to the puzzles in the right place.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and I mean, and you, I think, made this point, but sometimes you look and you're like, this is such a bad match.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what is she or he thinking? This is
Yeah.
not, and you know them because they're your family and you've grown up with them your whole life, and you're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? And the thing about that movie, well, a couple things, but the thing about that movie that I thought was interesting was they fully accepted her though when she came back later and was with the brother
The right piece
who
on the yeah.
who really and truly was like, I mean, if you want to talk about opposites attract, like
Yeah.
was the opposite of her, but complimented her in a way and helped her relax enough to be
Right.
less
She felt
offensive
safe
just in
and
nature.
seen and
And the
heard and
yeah,
understood. And he knew she was uptight, but he didn't mind. Like he
no,
appreciated her for which allowed her to
he
relax.
kind of embraced it. And
Yeah,
I
he
think
did.
that that's another sort of quick lesson out of that is there's somebody out there for everybody. Like
Yeah.
you have to
Who
find the
will love
person
you
who
for
embraces
you.
you. Yeah, for
Yeah.
who you are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
who you can pretend to be
And
in the
then
moment.
Everett and Jules ended up,
Yeah.
having that same connection and authenticity as a
Yeah.
teammate. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, we just kind of gave all the story away, but it is a great
But
movie.
it's
Turned
an
into
old
my,
movie. Everybody's seen it. And if you haven't seen it, you absolutely should. It's like one of those movies I watch every year. But can I tell you, last year it came on TV and it was like during all the cancer stuff was like
oh,
blowing
yeah.
up me and we were trying to, and I remember it came on and we were watching it. Mom had put it on and we were watching it And we got about 3/4 of the way through, and I think she realized the mom was going to die of cancer, and she's like, "Should we not watch this?" And I was like, "Well, we're kind of in it now. I'm a little bit
Yeah.
invested, but
Yeah.
but yeah, but that part of it, I
That's
mean,
heavy.
spoiler alert,
But it was also beautiful, and Meredith's picture captured such
yeah,
a beautiful moment. And also, now I'm tearing up.
and it captured
This
the
would be a
harshness.
lie if I didn't tell you. Jeff and I were boo fucking crying in the hotel room yesterday morning
Oh yeah,
at that movie.
I
Like,
I
full
every time.
sobs, giant bear hug.
Gets me every time that
I
movie.
know.
And the thing is that the sister the picture is the
Was
sister
Amy.
who's the harshest and
Yeah.
the most guarded and the most sort of aggressive and kind of mean spirited, a little bit bullyish.
Yeah.
And I
But she
think
turned around too.
but I think that one thing really I think brought her down
Grounded her.
some too. Yeah.
The other thing is too, that just goes to show you never know what people have going on in their life. And
Yeah.
part of the problem was the mother was dying of cancer.
Yeah.
And,
Again.
the daughters were trying to cope with it. And when
Yeah.
Everett found out, and the mom basically called him out for being like, you don't have to rush. You don't have to get married just to get married in front of me. Just, because you're worried about. And then the dad and her, oh my God, I'm going to cry when they're laying in bed and she like shows that she's missing a breast. And obviously it's a love scene. And he's like, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
The kids, and I'm like, oh my God, that is so beautiful and heavy. But he was right. And they were fine. And she was still part of, that next Christmas, just not there physically, but there in spirit.
Yeah.
So
I think
definitely watch that movie. Yeah, exactly.
Especially anybody who needs a good cry, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do need a good cry, and I'll watch a movie for that. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing about Kylie Kelsey. I'm not going to lie. Her podcast. My favorite part of her podcast is fuck around and find out. Time Magazine fucked around and found out. And I love how she has no fear calling anything out.
No. Yeah.
So I look forward to that part of the company. She's going to be interviewing Taylor Swift very soon.
Can't wait.
By the way, and speaking of the devil, that's
shirt.
the next item on our agenda. Taylor Swift song focused lyrics.
Yes.
Wearing my Eras sweatshirt.
Super nice.
Today is the last, I believe, if today is 12/8, Dina Redden's birthday. It's the last Eras concert tonight. Wow. Yeah. In fucking sane.
Yeah.
I'm glad she did it in Canada. I think that's so beautiful. Song that we picked this week is Thank You, Amy, off of the Tortured Poets Department album, and I believe the extended version. It's cryptic when you see how she spells out the title. It's all lowercase except for the K in thank and the I am in Amy. Mm-hmm. And we think it's a lead to obviously the drama that went down with Kim Kardashian and Kanye with Taylor back in the day, when Taylor literally had to flee the country and take a
mental health
year-long vacation in the woods in like England, where she could collect herself because the bullying and the harshness of that situation just took her out. But she came back fucking not even swinging, just going at it for herself and landing on so far above the top.
Yeah.
That's, I feel like, the point of Thank You, Amy.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the song, Jane.
Okay.
I am going to butcher this because I usually practice in the morning. I butchered last week too. When I listened to it, I cringed a little, but then I was like, fuck it, Jenny. You love to sing Taylor Swift. And if they don't like to hear you, they can turn down the volume.
For this part.
Notice I didn't say turn off the episode because we need you to watch the full episode so we get a view. Thank you very much. All right, here's my favorite part. All that time you were throwing punches, it was all for nothing. And a town, it looks so small from way up here. Scream thank you, Amy, to the night sky, and the stars were stunning. 'Cause I can't forget the way you made me heal. Everyone knows that my mother is a saintly woman. But she used to say she wished that you were dead. So I pushed each boulder up that hill. Your words were still just ringing in my head. Ringing in my head. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. What I fucking love about the magic of this song is this is Taylor Swift, like, to a fucking capital T. She literally always comes out on top because she always looks at the bright side. She always finds the lessons. Yeah. She does not let other people bring her down. She is sure of herself. She is secure in her own skin. Yep. She knows, she keeps making those little moves and she keeps taking those little steps and they just keep adding up. And it's just such a joyous way to like let something so traumatic go and land on top and also land on a positive note because it's so much easier to let something go when you can forgive. Yeah. And Jane, hey, how was my performance?
Excellent, Jackie. And you know what else I love about it is how when we talk about things that we're most traumatized by in life, having somebody sing to me is one of them. So we get to do it weekly. So fun for me.
I'm not writing you love ballads. I'll just leave it there.
But separately from that, I do think one of the things about Taylor's music is that she's so relatable, and we always talk about that, but she's, you know, we take what we need to take out of her music. It might not always mean the same thing it meant to her, but I think we've all been in a situation that was a pretty negative situation and wanted to say fuck you to someone. Yeah. And then down the road, you know, you realize you landed where you were supposed to land. So it's almost like you look back and go, well, thank you, because without that, I wouldn't have been here.
I wouldn't have been here. So, the thing I've noticed,
concept.
Like, very relatable. I feel like when I look back at situations, you know, after the fact, I always feel better when I forgive. I just do. And therefore, I can't hold grudges. I don't have the ability to. I literally want the best for people, even if they're fucking assholes, even if they're dicks. I hope that they grow out of that or find their people that they can, you know, enjoy time being dicks with. But at the end of the day, like, I just cannot be angry at people. I don't want that type of, ooh, a little spider. Hey, little buddy. Just want to see if you ever read that.
Birdie. Focus.
Yes. Sorry. Also need to make sure it's not a freaking black widow. If it is, I will gather it in a cup and bring it outside. If it isn't, I'm gonna let them stay in here because it's mosquito season and they help.
Brown recluse, you gotta watch those too. They have.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's definitely black. Oh, okay. It's just a little guy, which I think they're more potent. But anyways, carry on back to the.
I'm completely lost now because I was like, "Where's the bird?" And then we lost everything we were talking about.
Oh, well, Jane, it's 47 minutes and 49 seconds.
Ooh, we did good.
We did good. Last thing we're going to do, and just real quick and to the point, but what's a promise we're going to make to ourselves this week?
Last week I did not do great with my exercise. I didn't keep up to the 5 days like I wanted to. So this week I'm absolutely keeping to the 5 days.
Okay, excellent. This week I will get at least 3 30-minute yoga routines because honestly, mentally, I feel better and my rides are better because my hips are more open when I do that. So I'm doing 3 of those. I'm getting 2 60-minute workouts on the bike, 2 30 minutes, and 1 45, and then whatever I want on the weekend. And gonna make sure I cold plunge my face at least 3 times this week and once on the weekend. And continue to face fear and kick its ass.
Nice.
I feel like I did that a lot last week. There were several times where I was like so scared and I'm like, you have to keep going. You have to get through this. It's like things I'm testing and I don't know the outcome yet. And I'm like, why am I scared? Like, if the outcome is not what I want, then I tweak it, you know? Yeah. Like, but it's like, I'm trying to look at it as a rush and not like an anxiety. Yeah. But
I think it's like, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, how starting new things is so scary.
Yeah.
So,
but think about the podcast. Are you scared anymore? I'm not.
No. But I mean, just in general, like changing jobs or
Yeah.
for kids going away to school for the first time, or like even Olivia starting at Dunkin' Donuts, and now the idea of like going somewhere else, she's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm comfortable here. And it's like, yeah, but in order to build and keep growing, you might
You got to
have to
put
do
yourself
that
out
at some
there.
point. And
Yeah.
I've been doing this since like maybe my 20s. I think it was a psych class that I learned this in, like some type of like mind, how you sort of, it's like self-talk.
Yeah.
But I always tell myself it's only new for 2 weeks and that's not new
Yeah.
anymore. So I can get through 2 weeks because 2 weeks it's new and then it's not new anymore.
Exactly.
So it's like that
And
type of thing that you can do for fear where you just kind of self-talk your way through it.
yeah. And you can also say, remember what it feels like to be in this because you don't get this that often. And it's actually a rush and it's actually exciting if you can let it feel that way instead of the opposite. And then you
Right.
get to really experience and be aware of that emotion.
Yeah.
I think that's so fun, but still scary.
Still scary. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, Jane. Well, we
All
did
right.
it. You're off to see a friend, and
Yep.
I am off to read some tarot for my friends, actually.
Okay, great.
And then I'm getting on the bike for 30 minutes, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm in this outfit because I did not change into a cute outfit. I kept my workout clothes on because I have to get that done. I made a promise to myself.
I was touch up painting before this, so I have one, two, three, four, five, six, and a ceiling that I was fixing. So 7 different paint that I've been touch up painting with this morning. So
Oh my God, Jane, that's
yeah,
exhausting.
I just want to get it done. I've been putting it off and putting it off, and so I was like, all right, today's the day. We're just gonna do it. So
You go, girl. I'm proud of you. Awesome. Well,
all right, well, have a
I
great
love you.
week.
I hope you have a great week, and we will catch up soon.
All right, love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.